Well, hello everyone. This will be the first video that I will be uploading to my channel. I want to make this channel basically a once a week libertarian channel where the videos will either be long or they'll be shorter, somewhere ranging between 5 and an hour, basically. And basically I want the videos to be across a wide variety of topics, anywhere from history to current events, economics, philosophy, anything that I feel like talking about, basically. So for this first video, I want to talk about a topic that's been back in the news recently, which is gun control. Because at the time of this recording, it's the middle of January. I don't know when this will be going up, but last month, the end of the year was coming, and it's the year-end statistics, so people were started making some audacious claims, but that's not exactly what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the probability that gun control will stop people from killing each other. I say that's pretty darn low. So let's walk through a hypothetical. Let's say that a huge gun control law is passed in the United States. Something on the order of all guns in the United States have to have some sort of permit to buy, or something along those lines. Not an outright ban, because that'll never happen. But the chances of even that being passed are extremely unlikely, because gun control is a very bipartisan issue. Democrats and Republicans do not like it. And basically it's suicide for any liberal outside of California or New York to pass gun control legislation. But let's say that such a law is passed. It'll probably have almost zero effect, and there's a good set of reasons why that is. Because the probability of that law will stop people from getting guns is tiny. The existing stock of guns is huge. Like, there's almost one per person now. I have a statistic from a couple of years ago that the approximate number of guns in civilian America is 270 million. Of course, that's several years old now, so it's almost one per person. The probability that someone who wants a gun already has it is high. And also, we can imagine if a criminal wants to get a gun, they're probably determined, because they've already decided that they're going to commit crimes. So they could do several things to get a gun. One, they could kill somebody who legally got a gun, break into their house and just steal it, or kill them and steal it. Making guns is dead simple, and the means to do so are extremely distributed. It costs less than $100 to make a gun. You can 3D print guns now and make them completely undetectable, so the likelihood that you'll stop people from getting a gun is low. People smuggle drugs and people into the United States from Mexico, so why not guns? Even though drugs are extremely illegal. If you're caught with a tiny amount of marijuana, you go to jail for a very long time. But people still have marijuana. It's extremely widespread. I don't see why guns will be any different. So the probability that you'll stop someone from getting a gun is rather low. If we take an example, in November we had the Paris terrorist attacks that were used with automatic guns. How could that be? Paris is a very strict gun control country. The usual retort to this is that they were shipped in from another country and that Paris needs tighter border control. Okay, a country that has extremely tight border control is the United States. Millions of dollars, probably billions, are spent in the United States to secure the United States-Mexico border, and yet thousands of illegal immigrants are brought in every year, and the drug cartels ship in tons of drugs every year along with those people. In the Paris attacks, a stricter border probably would not have stopped those people from getting in, because getting past border control, people have been doing this for millennia, getting past borders. So conceivably, you could have, the United States has the money to have over 1,000 drones circling the entire United States border. Each of these drones has a conceivable range of 30 miles of camera range where they can automatically detect any oddities in the terrain. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually the case now, but people still smuggle things in. So I have no idea how people say that a tighter border would have stopped the Paris attacks. It doesn't make any sense to me. And so let's take a real-world example of strict gun control. The UK. The UK has a complete handgun ban, as far as I'm aware. I believe that's the case. The UK has a... Yes. Possession of handguns is completely illegal. But if we look at the crime statistics in the UK, people still get guns. Based upon a Guardian article from Sunday, October the 5th, October 2003, entitled, "Gun Crime Spreads Like a Cancer Across Britain." This is the case. So, The Guardian is a very partisan publication. They're very liberal, and they're still the ones saying this. According to this article, there are 30 incidents a day, and it's at its highest it's ever been since '93. And I did not get any recent statistics, but essentially, I would imagine this has been going up ever since. And it's a very interesting. This article is actually half of it is about race, which I think shows people admonish, especially Europeans, falsely admonish United States citizens for being racist. But half of this article is all about how this is no longer a black issue, as if blacks were the only ones committing gun crime. And this is, you could read the article yourself. It's half of it. It's about how, here's a quote, "It's no longer a black or white issue," unquote, says Lyndon Gibson of the Urban Nation Youth Project. Requote, "These guns are in the hands of the whole community. Guns are everywhere, and they are being used by everyone," unquote. So, complete handgun ban, and yet somehow everyone has guns. Based on a Telegraph article from July the 2nd, 2009. Again, Telegraph, not exactly a bipartisan publication. They said that the United States is the violent crime capital of Europe. That is the title of the article. UK is violent crime capital of Europe. And according to them, there are 2,034 violent crimes per 100,000 people. And that is versus the United States, which has 466 violent crimes for 100,000 people. So the UK has 436% more violent crimes per capita than the United States, despite their handgun ban. And it's getting ridiculous because apparently stabbings are so frequent that UK doctors are calling for a long kitchen knife ban. And I believe that was in 2010. I'll put the article in the description. So, with the UK's handgun ban, they were still able to get guns. According to the Guardian article, drug traffickers have guns, all of them, essentially. This is according to an anonymous narc. The purpose of telling you all these statistics is that getting a gun is not hard, especially in a gun-controlled area. You go on the street, and according to the Guardian article, you can pick up a handgun for 200 pounds. And it says, quote, "A good quality semi-automatic handgun can be bought on the streets of London for as little as 200 pounds. Despite the fact that it's illegal.